All right, so I wanted to today go over my first Preface volume, do a little teaser, and do some like backstory commentary. What we'll do first is listen to the first minute. It's actually a little over 2 minutes long in its entirety. I want to save the entirety to be released on my Patreon page. So if you have not joined that, please go and subscribe on my Patreon page. It's only $5 a month to get my full content. So this is meant to be a little bit of a teaser and to show you guys kind of what I've been up to. So we will do the first, pass through for a minute, and then I'll play it again. And on my second playthrough, I'll be super annoying and we'll be pausing it every 5-10 seconds and talk about things. And then at the end, I want to play like the last 16 seconds of it, just so you kind of see what it builds to without giving too much away. All right, so without further ado, here we go.
The Book of Avador, a story by Tim Sargent. Volumes, a preface. Volume 1, A Whisper in the Dark.
In a realm known not by men, but of gods, intelligences gathered to seek counsel and knowledge from the great Creator. Never had one divine sought for another in such a manner as this.
Your Holiness, we seek thee. We have been sent from Ravaya. A terrible darkness has spread over all manner of creation. The Avador asks thee to succor his great need.
What manner of corruption would threaten a divine being such as us?
They come as a whisper and leave nothing behind. It begins as a seed in the mind, of doubt or lust, of greed or pain, of power or promise. When sown into thought, one cannot refrain from its obsession with the light.
Okay, we'll stop right there. All right, hopefully you guys were digging that and wanted to hear the rest of it. But here's something I love about immersive audio. For me as a writer, it can be really difficult just to really expressively set the stage in a scene, because I try to write very cinematically. So I want you to feel like you're watching a movie when you're reading my work. And to really do that, you have to use a lot of verbiage to really set the scene. Sometimes it feels like it's just like I've written a few hundred words just setting a scene, and it gets crazy. So what I love about immersive audio is there's so much that I can do setting the scene with just sound. Not even music, just sound. And I love that. And so let me start over here, and I'll play the first little bit, and I'll explain what I mean right here.
The Book of Avador, a story by Tim Sargent. Volumes, a preface. Volume 1, A Whisper in the Dark.
In a realm known not by men.
Okay, so right out of the gate, you hear, it sounds very ethereal. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you know what I mean. It sounds very cosmic. The padding, the kind of the voicing that I'm using in that with like it's actually like a synth padding. The narrator, he is drowning in reverb. So this sets the tone of kind of a cosmic stage. And, I was able to kind of get that feeling portrayed across in literally like 10 seconds of listening. Well, less than maybe 5 seconds of listening. Let's continue.
But of gods, intelligences gathered to seek counsel and knowledge from the great Creator. Never had one divine sought for another in such a manner as this. Okay,
so if you're listening along, what we've gathered here is intelligences have gathered with the great Creator in council. when I think of a great creator, I think of what a lot of people, their viewpoints of what God might be. A creator, a master creator of the galaxy, maybe the universe. We don't really know, right? But in this world, it's of the galaxy. And so what has happened is we have two messengers that have been sent from another galaxy to our galaxy here in the Milky Way. And they have been sent in distress, kind of an SOS signal from the creator of another galaxy to this one.
Your Holiness, we seek thee. We have been sent from Ravaya. A terrible darkness has spread over all manner of creation. The Avador asks thee to succor his great need.
What manner of corruption?
Okay, let's talk about the verbiage I'm choosing to use in this beat or these passages. It sounds very scripture-esque, kind of New King James Version. And I don't mean for it to be blasphemous at all. This is really just kind of it's meant to sound holy. And I intentionally did that because this is a sci-fi book. And this is not a religious book, but I want people to have a different perspective on space and sci-fi. This is a new take. So I want you to think about aliens, Star Wars, and all the other stuff and scrap it from your mind and have a new, fresh perspective and take on this. So we are starting with the creator. Another creator of another galaxy is in distress, and he's heeding the counsel of this one, saying, help me, I need help. And you notice it said, a terrible darkness has come over all manner of creation. And you heard that sound, almost sounded like a rocket thrust. That was intentional. So it's a little bit of foreshadowing. You know, we are going to be traveling in this galaxy, going to the danger. And so that is meant to kind of display, hey, there's an area that's not here that is in distress, and we're going to be going to that area. Let's continue.
That threaten a divine being such as us.
They come as a whisper and leave nothing behind.
Okay, real quick. You heard the creator's voice. I went back and forth so many times to figure out a good voice for the creator. I wanted it to sound booming. I wanted it to echo. You heard the echo in his voice, and that's to represent kind of the echoing in eternities, things that he says. Similar to like a lot of beliefs that people have today with God. And so whatever he says is eternal. So I wanted to kind of portray that. And he asked, what manner, wait, hold on, let me not screw this up here. What manner of corruption could threaten a divine being such as us, is what he said. Forgetting my own lines here for a second. I love that. Because if you think about just basic Christianity beliefs, now I'm not going into like all the different types of Christianity, but the basic beliefs, we believe that there was fallen angels. We read about fallen angels all the time. You know, and you can get into religious texts, historical texts, all kinds of stuff. So there must be a lot going on upstairs, if you know what I mean, that we don't know about. And the potential of that must mean that there's also potential for evil as well to prevail. There must be a chance that evil can prevail somehow. And so I really wanted to portray that. This is really meant to show, oh, there's something is happening, a terrible darkness is spreading over all manner of creation over there. That must mean that we could be threatened as well. That's the whole point I'm trying to get across. All right, let's finish this part real quick.
It begins as a seed in the mind of doubt or lust, of greed or pain, of power or promise. When sown into thought, one cannot refrain from its obsession with the...
Okay, I don't want to get too deep into that because it starts really kind of getting into the lore of the story. But the very basics that you need to know about the story is light is like a currency, basically. So the more light there is, the more power there is. Keep that in mind. Whatever being, what it just said is whatever being is over there destroying all manner of creation is consuming all the light. And that's physical, real light. But it's also metaphorically speaking of our spiritual light as well. Okay, so I said we would go to the last 16 seconds. So let me do that real quick, because I really just want you to be able to hear the last part of this music so you can get hyped. I love this part. So this is one of the favorite things I've ever written before, this music. And I wrote this music over 10 years ago. I really kind of started creating the bare bones of the story about 10 years ago. I went through like a creative, I don't know what you want to call it, just like a creative sprint, if you will. And I was just like throwing up like all this like creativity in the form of music and just writing. And I'm going to make a video about my creative process, but I was constantly just kind of having this feeling like I needed to record, not having any idea like what I was going to play. And then I would just kind of lock myself away in a quiet place, put on my headphones, and I would start playing. And just, you know, I did this for a couple of years. Some of my friends will tell you, Derek and Miles and them, they really supported me in a big way during this time. I had a ton of music, and a whole library of music that I recorded. But anyways, this was during that time period. You heard the soft piano begin. It builds into a much more vibrant piece. And we go into from piano to synth to pads to, you know, all kinds of stuff going on. So let me play this last little bit. It's the last 16 seconds. Okay. All right, so in closing, I hope you listen to that and it gets you pumped and excited. I can't wait for you to listen to the whole thing. This is really setting the tone and the groundwork for the whole rest of the book. I have 6 volumes of the preface. Each volume is a whole different stage and a whole different part of the beginning layers of the story. So this is the only stage that's set in a cosmic realm of the preface. Everything else you hear in the preface is on planet Earth, where we are here. It's setting the groundwork for our character. And so this is the very beginning of his being. And I hope you hear it. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks a lot. Oh, find me on Patreon. Join the team.